SciFinder-n References Search. Hi, my name is Stacy Magadans. I'm one of the reference librarians here at FAO Library. This is one of the videos in support of the library lab assignment for Chemistry 3500/3600, in which we will be demonstrating how to use the SciFinder Chemistry Research Database. Here on the main screen of SciFinder, you're asked to choose what kind of search you want to start with. Our demo in this video will only cover the references section. References means you are looking for published literature, such as scholarly research articles or review articles. But all of these other sections are very closely linked within SciFinder, and it's easy to move between them. So for the references search, we're going to use keywords, and if you've ever taken any of our library training sessions before, you'll know that we talk a lot about the best way to choose keywords, generating synonyms, and so on. But SciFinder is a little bit different in that it does natural language searching very well. It does most of the work for you. So it's safe to use phrases or questions as your search terms. I'm going to go ahead and use nanoparticles for drug delivery to cancer tumors. Now we have more than 49,000 results, so that's quite a lot. Let's talk a little bit about some of these filters on the left side of the page that can help you sharpen up your results. First of all, document type. For your assignment here, you are really going to want to focus on the journal documents. You're really not so interested in things like patent records, which might interest, say, a chemical researcher out in the field. Most of these articles are in English, but there are other languages there that you can explore. I'm going to choose a publication year limit. I will do the past 5 years, so 2017 through 2022, and apply that. There are many other limits here you can select from. Concept in particular might be interesting, but I'm going to let you explore those on your own. We also see up here that it's telling us which filters we applied, and you can remove any of them if you want to. We've cut this group down by more than half, but 21,000 is still quite a lot to look through. So how do we navigate this list of results? All right, we have the brief list here. We have the title of the article, a couple of the authors, and a little bit about where it came from. Also a little snippet of a summary of what's going on in the article. You can always get more information about any of these by clicking on the title. I want to choose one from this list that has a lot of supplementary information included, namely substances and reactions. So I'm going to click on this title so that I'm going to the full record for this item. I want to draw your attention here to the journal information. This is most of what we think of as the citation for this journal. The source would be the title of the journal it came from. We have a volume and an issue number. We have page numbers, a date, and also a DOI. So things you would need in order to cite that in your paper. We also have the authors listed here, and indeed there are many authors, so they compressed them a little bit. The lead author is normally the contact for questions or other information about the article. So there's usually provided some contact information for them. Here we have a brief summary or abstract of what's going on in this article, usually a paragraph or so, although this one has a diagram as well. Down here, there are those concepts that I mentioned. These are special terms that SciFinder has assigned to this article to describe its subject. And you'll notice that although I did use the term cancer, cancer is not one of the terms here. But neoplasm is something that SciFinder felt would still be a good match for my search. There's some additional subjects on this one because this is has a medical subject and is included in Medline, which is the largest medical research database. So they've supplied here the Medline subject terms as well. Substances is something you may want to pay attention. We'll be doing substance searching in another part of this tutorial. But what this means is that this article mentions 21 different chemical substances that SciFinder has information about. And by clicking on one of the numbers provided here, I can go into the substance section of SciFinder and find things such as the physical properties of this substance. So very easy to move back and forth between the literature and the chemical substance information. Down here where it says cited documents, that's the bibliography of this article. They cited 67 documents in their bibliography, so if you want to explore any of them, you can click on them and find out more about them that way. A couple more things up at the top of here I want to point out. We also have reactions. Again, like the substances, there are some identifiable chemical reactions noted in this article. So by clicking into that section, you can get the information about the reactions that are described. All right, finally, citing means that since this article was published, 95 other articles have cited this one in their bibliographies. So if you wanted to explore forward in time, you can do that by checking out who has cited this article since it was written. All right, so we have all of this information about the article, but we do not yet have the actual text of the article, the full text. So here we have a button labeled full text. You want to click on that. Some options will unfold, but the one you want is search for full text from PhowLibrary. PhowLibrary subscribes to many journals on behalf of the campus so that not every CSUSB person has to pay for them individually. So this has looped us into one of the library's systems called OneSearch, and it says yes, this article is available online to us at the American Chemical Society Journal Collection. So by clicking that link, I can go to where that article lives. I will get recognized as a CSUSB subscriber. Now, normally when you just scroll down, you can read the article here on the page, but I always advise all my students check for a PDF option. So here it is presented on this button. If there's a PDF and you like the article, go ahead and download it, save it to your local drive, your cloud drive, wherever you like to save your materials so that you'll have it later. And you won't have to go searching for it again. This way you have in one nice neat file the entire content of the article, all of the diagrams, all of the information. Okay, so I'm going to close out some of these windows that we don't need anymore. I'm going to go back to my list of results here. So that was one where we had it immediately available online, which is great, but I want to show you some other situations you might encounter. Here on this first one, I'm going to search for the full text. And in this case, I did not get that message that the article is available online. So instead I have two options. The first option is to check for a free version in Google Scholar. I always advise people to do this, particularly in the sciences. There's an awful lot of free content out there, and it turns out that this one is, because this was medical research funded by a government grant, which is public money, the authors were obliged to make it open access, that is to say free, to everybody for having used that public money as part of their research. So very much worthwhile to check that link when you get that kind of message. Let's pick, though, a different situation. Let me go here and look for the full text on this one. All right, we got that same message that this is not immediately available to us. I'm going to check for the free version in Google Scholar. This is not looking so very positive, but I'm going to click through and see what it tells me. Now, unfortunately, this one is saying that in order to get it, I would need to purchase it for $110. You will never do that. If you run into a situation like that, you just immediately back right out of that, and you go back here to option number 2, which is get this item through Interlibrary Loan, which runs on our Iliad system. Interlibrary Loan is a free service that we provide for all of CSUSB's folks. All you have to do is ask us for an article, and we will get a copy from a library that does have it at no charge to you. So I clicked into Iliad, and it knows me, so it recognized who I am, and it has grabbed all of that information about the article, put it into the request form. All I have to do is submit it. I'm not going to do that because I don't really want this article, but what would happen? We would find a copy of an article, a PDF, from a library that does have it, and then we would email you to say, hey, your article has arrived. Log back into Iliad in order to pick it up. There will be a link to Iliad, and you would then go look at your electronically received articles in order to grab that PDF file. I don't have any right now to show you, unfortunately. We can only keep them here for 30 days, but once you download it and save it onto your drive, it's yours for as long as you want it. Again, this is a free service to you as a student, and it normally only takes a couple of days. So please take advantage of that if the article you want turns out to be not immediately available. All right, let me close this window we don't need. That's the basics of using the SciFinder reference search, but I do want to point out one more filter. Over here on the side, we have a document type labeled Review. Your assignment discusses the difference between review articles versus original research articles. And in fact, you can see on our first result here, this one is labeled right up front, a review. If you only want to see review articles, you can use that as a filter, and once I apply that, then I am only looking at articles that do some sort of review rather than doing original research. So here we see a review, and so on. You can also choose to exclude that kind of result. Say, I don't want to see anything that is a review article by using that option on your search. And that's it.